Greetings, champions. Something is moving in the shadows of the cosmos. The Dark Heart is no longer in Xal'atath's grasp. A new player has entered the game, and Karesh, once thought lost to the void, is stirring. The video became a bit too big during creation, and that's why I decided to split it into two parts. In this part, we'll break down the major features coming in patch 11.2. A new zone deep within the Veil of the Void, new world events, new updates for the Warband system, and a final raid that may bring us face to face with the corrupted soul of a forgotten world. But before we speak of challenges, new lore, and rewards, we must understand what truly happened after 11.1 in the Undermine, and why everything that we have experienced so far now points to Caresh, the former ethereal homeworld. After the events in Undermine, the reforged Dark Heart is gone. Stolen from Gallywix, who thought he was doing Xal'atath a favor by rebuilding it with Khajiit, but he was played. The ethereal agent wasn't working for her. It was Azir, a Nexus thief from the Shadowguard. Backed by his mysterious master and the powerful Ethereum rogue faction, Azir betrayed Xal'atath and vanished beyond the Veil of the Void, taking the mighty artifact with him. In the final moments of patch 11.1, we catch a glimpse of what he found. A massive, pulsing presence, wrapped in shadow, surrounded by stars. A world soul corrupted by the void, the soul of Karesh. Meanwhile, Locust Walker hasn't been idle. In the Telegrass Rift, he's been training Void Elves to wield the shadows without losing their minds, forming them into a deadly weapon against the Void. But after the news from Illyria and the involvement of his Shadowguard, the tables have turned. He senses that far away in the twisting nether, a bigger threat rises. A whisper from the past, reshaped by the void and thought to be dead. A shadow that moves not behind us, but ahead, carrying the sound of a dying star. Locust Walker warns us that we must pursue them. The Dark Heart must not fall into the hands of the Shadowguard or Xal'atath. Now, we prepare to journey to Caresh, a world thought lost, where the void reigns and the laws of reality no longer apply. With the help of surviving ethereals from Outland and the knowledge of the Locust Walker, a path through the Veil may be opened. Our mission is not to recover the Dark Heart, but to destroy it before Xal'atath reclaims what was once hers, and to stop the Shadowguard from using it for something even worse. But reaching Caresh won't be simple. Hidden deep within the Veil of the Void and surrounded by arcane storms, Caresh is more than just a lost world. It's a shattered battlefield between memory and madness. But even among the shattered skies of Caresh, traces of memory remain. In fact, I came across one of them myself. I was out in Dalaran, grabbing dinner, went to the bathroom, and there it was, a napkin with a poem written by an ethereal about her lost home. And yeah, it rhymes.
In domes of glass our hearts did shine, through starlit night in perfect line. We traded thoughts and danced through phase, before the dark unbound their maze. Now storms howl loud where markets stood, and silent halls replaced our good. Yet fragments drift, not lost, just torn, still echoing the world we mourn. So if you find this poem, dear friend, take Karesh's pieces and defend.
Yeah, Caresh isn't just a war zone. It's a graveyard of memories, and every subzone tells its own broken story. From Outland, we will reach the shattered planet of the Ethereals. What awaits us isn't just a single landmass, but fragments of a dead world suspended in arcane storms. One region is encased in old eco-domes, struggling to maintain balance, haunted by ghosts, void-corrupted wildlife, and broken constructs. Think of Netherstorm, but bigger and way more dangerous. For the Caresh of ancient times, the eco-domes were vital to their survival, as they were the only source of agriculture on their arid desert planet. Another zone is overrun by void spawn, warped terrain, and collapsed structures, like Telegrus Rift Unleashed. Imagine this zone as if the void has already consumed everything, populated with void creatures that hunt each other just to satisfy their endless hunger. The third and penultimate zone, the ancient capital of the Caresh, a remnant of an ancient civilization, destroyed and twisted by the forces of the void. Something similar to what Uldum looked like when Xal'atath's forces invaded the area. And finally, the navel of this ravaged world. The Void Vortex, like the maelstrom on Azeroth, it drains all energies and feeds the corrupted world's soul at the center of the planet. There, we will see the broken remnants of the Caresh World Core, the old Titan prison and research facility. This will be our access point to the soul itself, and the raid entrance. As we step further into the Shattered Realm, chaos comes alive through dynamic world events that redefine survival in this forsaken place. Violent void portals tear open the skies, spewing unpredictable bursts of shadow and agony. In the ruins, the ancient eco-domes stand battered and silent, but legends say that when reactivated, these domes can restore order, channeling arcane energies to hold back the encroaching void. The void may have conquered Caresh, but it hasn't silenced it. In patch 11.2, we return to a kind of open-world content that feels more alive and more tactical than we've seen in years. This time, the world events revolve around active reclamation. Caresh isn't just a battlefield. It's a world we're trying to stabilize and reconquer from the clutches of the void. Players will rotate between 3 major factions leading operations across the new zones. The Consortium, hunting for hidden vaults and ancient artifacts. The forces of Azeroth, led by the sons of Lothar themselves, pushing back the Shadowguard and Xal'atath's minions. And the Protectorate, which wants to reconquer the remains of their homeworld with its military power. Each group has its own goals, and we're the ones doing the heavy lifting. One week, we might be recharging old eco-domes, restoring arcane shields to make parts of the zone habitable again. The next, we're closing unstable void rifts and battling elite horrors before they spread. On other occasions, we're sent to gather vital resources, relics, crystals, even raw essence, before the Shadowguard reaches them. And sometimes, we're just trying to hold the line. Think less Daily Quest Hub and more Warcraft 3 campaign. Build your outpost, defend it, push back the darkness that roams this forsaken world. And if we fail, then Caresh falls. I have to honestly say that I have a problem with the so-called open world challenges. On the surface, it sounds exciting. Challenge content in the open world. But here's the catch. Challenge requires structure. An open world is chaos. Most so-called challenges in WoW's open world aren't really challenges at all. They're grinds, group events, or participation-driven systems. Rarely, if ever, are they real tests of skill. The Mage Tower was the exception. It created an isolated space. One class, one spec, one set of mechanics. Your success is primarily based on your execution, but it was not in the open world, and that's why it worked. In The War Within, Blizzard introduced solo delves like Zekver and the Underpin. Solo challenges with 2 difficulties. But for me, I did them once, for the quest, and then never touched them again. I don't want hard challenges in a video game. I just want fun gameplay. Being put in a stressful situation is not fun, and the reward can't make up for that either. It's about that feeling of, I want to try this again. So, If patch 11.2 really wants to offer open world challenges, then it has to solve the paradox. Open world is designed for everyone, but challenge is designed for the few. So, what could work as an open world challenge? Instance solo trials, hidden behind world events, void rifts, astral arenas, challenge modifiers during public events, time limits, damage avoidance goals, trial portals that let you face elite mobs in escalating difficulty waves, but without tracking, without rewards, without some sense of personal purpose. It's just another world quest. Challenge content in an open world can exist, but if it doesn't reward mastery, then it's not a challenge. It's just background noise. I could well imagine linking the challenge to the open world activities. We built and secured a base in a zone, and then, like in Warlords of Draenor, we are being attacked. And with various items unlocked in the open world activity, we increase the difficulty, similar to the masks and the horrific visions in Battle for Azeroth. But we always keep in mind that fun is more important than difficulty. We can say that warbands are a great idea. Kudos to Blizzard. It's a quality of life feature that really works. We now have a shared bank, shared achievements, shared expansion currency. All in all, super convenient. But in 11.1, they were mostly cosmetic. For 11.2, I'm expecting new campsites with an ethereal theme. Although, honestly, I don't think they need to do much here. My time on the login screen is under 1 minute. And to be brutally honest, campsites are a waste of development time. That time could be used to improve gameplay and create fun new systems instead. What really needs attention is professions and character progression through the crest and Valorstone system, and the time gating attached to both. Professions are still character bound, which means if I'm doing some mining on my shaman, it's great. Maxed out skill, good profession gear, smooth experience. But if I log on my Death Knight, it feels like starting from scratch. No skill, no quality, no knowledge points, just a giant time gate, and a lot of frustration. And the later you come back after a break, the more knowledge points you've missed, which just fuels FOMO. And let's be honest, FOMO and MOFO are basically the same, just shuffled letters. So Blizzard, don't be a mofo. Cut the FOMO. But I digress. If warbands are meant to reflect your legacy, then professions should be part of that legacy. At least let gathering professions and artisans' metal be shared. Please, Blizzard. Less time gating, less FOMO. Okay, now let's talk about crests and valor stones. The new upgrade system is smart, especially with the currency consolidation. But there's one big problem. The cap. If I've already done some Mythic Plus, a few delves, I hit a wall. No more crests, no more stones, and that means no real reason to raid. And that's bad, not just for me, but for the entire guild. Raiding takes time, preparation, gold, commitment, and it sucks hard when you spend at least 8 hours a week and get nothing. Especially when everyone rolls for loot, and you're the clown again, always rolling low numbers. That's not fun, it's punishing. Hey, glad you're playing our game. Oh, you've played too much? No more loot for you. KK, thanks, bye. You should be rewarded for playing more, not punished for it. So here's my idea to fix it. After reaching a certain item level threshold and unlocking a Warband-wide achievement, all Warband characters should gain access to a vendor item that lets you reforge lower crests into higher ones, and those should be Warband bound. Also, remove the 2,000 cap on Valor Stones. Raise the weekly crest cap to 250 instead of 70, and let us buy crests and spark for crafted gear directly. That way, our time is never wasted. Even helping with a guild alt run on my main would feel worth it, and your alts would still benefit from your main's progress, without breaking the balance. Because if we're fighting as one, we should grow as one. Okay, look, I love Brewfest. Every reason to get drunk is a big win. But let's be real, this holiday hasn't changed much in years. Mini games outside Orgrimmar and Ironforge, a dungeon boss, a chance at the Brewfest mounts, and a bit of epic loot if you're lucky. That's fun, but it's also legacy content, and that means Blizzard probably won't invest much development time into it, especially during a major patch cycle like 11.2. And, my personal guess, we'll see recolors of existing cosmetics from last year. Some new pets, new tints, maybe one or two new toys, but nothing groundbreaking. I wouldn't expect too much from Brewfest in 11.2. As said before, it's just legacy content. A new season means new rewards, and while the formula stays the same, the theme shifts with the patch. And this time it's the Endless Void. So you can bet the mounts and cosmetics will reflect that. For Mythic Plus, I'm hoping for a Void disc, something like the disc from Tazavesh, but darker, with flickers of shadow trailing behind, and maybe even some pulsing orbs rotating around it. The rewards for PvP, I'd love to see Void-infused mounts. Horde gets a Cosmic Warwolf, and the Alliance rides a Cosmic Steed emanating shadow energy. And while we ride them, we hear the maddening whispers of the Void. The new shoulder enchantments could echo what we've seen on Xal'atath's design. Floating void spheres, with subtle particle effects that feel a mix of arcane and void. It will look dangerous and stylish. So, what kind of mount can we think of for the new raid? I mean, after the most insane mythic mount in the liberation of Undermine, it's very hard to top that. It could be so many things. Maybe it's a fragment of the soul itself. Maybe it's a Titan construct that was built to contain it. Or maybe it's something totally different that no one expects. But, you know what? I give that question back to you. If you could design the mythic raid mount for 11.2, what would you wish it looked like? I mean, if we're heading into the void, we must definitely do it in style. So, try hard. Since you've made it this far with me into the void, your sanity might already be compromised, but your support keeps this channel from collapsing like Karesh did. So, put on your foil head, and like, subscribe, and let the algorithm know that we will conquer this madness. And hey, drop your favorite theory in the comments. I want to hear your wild speculations. Part 2 is coming out soon. In that part, we will talk about the new dungeon, Dells, and of course, the raid. So put on the bell to get notified, and I see you in the next video.